We got a video again. You can stay right here. You gotta be quiet.
I'm watching the video.
Today I'm going to talk about special needs students and how they need to be included in a regular education classroom. In 2005, my son suffered a traumatic brain injury at 3 months old. He had his whole life taken away from him due to someone else's carelessness. Many disabilities happen this way. Individuals are also born with a disability that leaves them with the need of someone else to care for them. My son struggles with mental, emotional, and physical disability. The battle his family and he struggles with is his education. In a school setting, children with disabilities are put on an individual education plan, an IEP. These plans are designed based on the disability diagnosis. My son has two very distinct diagnoses, a traumatic brain injury and his visual impairment. When it comes to his IEP, the main diagnosis looked at is his visual impairment. This is where we struggle in his education. Since he began school, he has been placed in a learning lab or a resource room because of his vision loss. The education team believes he will benefit the most in a resource setting. What they forget to look at is his traumatic brain injury and his ability to learn. Yes, he will fall behind, but this is no reason to isolate him to a learning lab or a resource room. As a parent of a child with multiple disabilities, it has been a struggle to get my son included in a regular education classroom. He struggles with social skills, social acceptance, and the ability to learn because he has been placed in a resource setting from day one of his education. My son could benefit from an inclusion classroom because it would help him with gaining social skills, social acceptance, and the ability to make friends and fit in. Mr. Williams states, inclusion can allow students with special needs to be around positive role models, showing how to operate both physically and emotionally. While struggling to have my son included, I have researched the term inclusion. This is my son Dayton, and this is why I chose this topic. Inclusion is a commitment to educate each child to the maximum extent appropriate in the school and the classroom he or should otherwise attend.
Really? Me?
So now I come to you and ask, if this was your child, would you want him or her isolated to a resource room? Or would you want him or her involved in a daily school routine where he or she is involved in all that school has to offer? Today, I'd like to share 3 reasons why children should be included in an inclusion classroom. The first is the benefits of inclusion for students with disabilities. Second, the benefit of inclusion for students without disabilities. And third, teachers in an inclusion classroom. Now, if you look at this picture, which child belongs in a regular education classroom? A child with glasses, a child who is visually impaired, or as you can see, all together is a child in a wheelchair and students in a regular education classroom. In a school setting, children with disabilities lack the ability to demonstrate age-appropriate social and behavior skills. So, the benefits of children with disabilities, they generate peer role models. Peer role models help them feel accepted. They also engage with children of their own age to learn how positive influence can affect their lives. Role-playing is a benefit to peer role models, and it's a learning tool that helps students with disabilities to gain a skill to give and receive feedback, listening, and self-disclosure amongst their peer role models. Now we're going to talk about the benefits of children without disabilities. With this, children without disabilities are apt to be more open-minded about children with disabilities when brought together in an integrated setting from special education inclusion. Understanding and acceptance of diversity is one of the key factors. It creates teamwork, and it gives social skills, and it generates friendships. It also shows the appreciation and acceptance of individual differences, and it helps people understand children with disabilities' behaviors. It gives them companionship that can go through time and life, and they know they can be accepted, and it also gives them growth and development of personal principles. Finally, benefits of teachers with inclusion classrooms. This is where teachers get to look at themselves and realize that they are of value, and they can show children how to feel valued and be accepted. A lot of teachers know of children who do not feel valued or who do not feel accepted, so teachers can do group learning, peer mentors, and they can connect on a student from base to base, one-on-one, and create that personal level so they're feeling accepted and that they are needed wherever they are. Modification to lessons plan is a benefit because it gives students more in-depth lessons, and it gives more time allotment for lessons, and then also allows for adaptive school stuff like computers or switchboards or anything like that that the disability children can use. And it also the teachers get the understanding of all students' needs, where teachers become more flexible, more responsive, and aware of students' disabilities and of all of their needs. And finally, as you can see, inclusion is not only a benefit and a must for children with disabilities, but also for children without disabilities. This is why I'm pushing for inclusion for my son and other children with disabilities. Art Shapiro said, "Youngsters will not learn in a segregated setting how to function in a non-disabled world." So I'm asking you now to be a supporter in inclusion in a classroom and heighten children with disabilities, giving them a chance of learning within their abilities and the empowerment of diversity in a world of ability.